I'm live. Howdy, howdy, howdy. At least I think I'm live. That's what the computers tell me. I've got to trust the computer, right? Or we're in a world of hurt. Isn't it horrible that we're in this situation? We got to depend on all that. Whatever. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Special St. Patrick's Day episode. I even wore my St. Patrick's Day hat. It doesn't work so well with the green screen, right? So probably go back to regular on that. How's that better? I feel better already. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Right off the bat, a big old SKD 143. Love my wife. Love my kids. Love my new son-in-law, my new daughter-in-law as well. I love all my reality TV fellow fans out there. So much reality TV going on right now. Amazing Race is over, but we got Big Brother Canada. We got Survivor 42 going on. We got a couple of new shows we'll talk about a little bit as well. That new challenge type thing for CBS. Kind of curious to see how that's going to work. And another type of Survivor. It's a fun time to be into reality TV, right? Hope y'all are all doing fantastic. Before we go any further, let me just check out, see who all's out here on another fantastic, right in the middle Monday evening kind of deal. Ex-Typhoid, howdy, howdy, howdy. Amanda Lowe as well. Is Orwell making an appearance? Maybe. Ask again a little bit. We'll see. Marilyn Sutherland, David Buchanan, howdy. David, just lost my concept there. Maureen Carroll as well. Mark Taylor, Lori A, Paula Scar, Ma, Angie Hung. Angie said she's going to be out here. Angie, I'm sorry that you aren't able to do your gymnastics tonight, but I'm glad you're getting to hang with us this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all of y'all. Kiki and Brian Hosteller, Elisha, Julie Shepard, all my friends are out here. I hope y'all are doing fantastic, enjoying and who else did? Michelle Moore. I don't want to leave anyone out, and if I did, I'm sorry. And not only the ones that are live, but I know a lot of y'all are watching replay as well. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's the thing I like about YouTube Live is that, yes, I get to do it live, and it's so much better when I can answer y'all's questions and interact. But it is nice that I can save these things and that y'all also get to see the chat off to the side also. So can't get all, if you can't watch on Monday nights, I get it. But you can always watch a little bit later. So thank y'all who are watching on replay as well. And I guess all of y'all who are here watching means that y'all remembered that daylight savings time kicked in or turned off. I never can remember if we're going into or out of daylight savings time. All I know is that I lose an hour of sleep every Saturday night when they do the spring forward fallback, right? Yeah, who wants that? For those of y'all up in Canada, do y'all have daylight savings time? I almost would think y'all would need it even more than we do here in the States, since y'all are further towards the pole and there's a bigger difference wintertime versus summertime when the sun sets and all of that. But maybe a big enough difference. Y'all didn't carry more than that. But we had daylight savings time kick in. Now, I got a thought for you. No one wants to lose an hour of sleep, which happens when you go skip from 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night, Sunday morning. What if instead of doing, I just shouldn't get rid of it completely. But if you want to keep daylight savings time, what if you did this instead? Instead of making it in the middle of the night so you lose an hour of sleep, make it at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon. So as soon as it gets to 4, it skips ahead to 5 o'clock. You lose an hour during work. I think everyone would be perfectly happy with that. You wouldn't have anyone griping about having to spring forward if you did it during the workday, right? Now, a lot more people awake, so maybe it creates a few more issues here and there, but I think we could figure out how to make it work. If I run for political office, that's going to be my platform. Is we're gonna cut an hour off the workday instead of in the middle of the night when you're getting your sleep that you need, and that's going to be what I do. So vote for old Boss Hogg for political office, whatever that office may be. But obviously, if y'all are out here, it means that y'all remember to set your clocks ahead 1 hour. So that'd be welcome for that. All right, now before we get into talking a little reality TV, which we're going to do, I have a few things I wanted to throw out to y'all. First of all, I always talk about special days on it. Did y'all know today? You probably know because y'all, the brilliant people that y'all are. Today is National Pie Day, and not the kind you eat. Every day is National Pie Day for that. No. It's National Pie is in 3.14159. And I don't remember any further than that, but pie that lets you do all kinds of wonderful things with circles, figure out areas and circumferences, all that kind of stuff. y'all know that stuff's been around for several thousand years that people knew about pi, which blows me away that the Babylonians, the Egyptians, they all had this math figured out so long ago. Yeah, you never think of that with those guys, but hey, if you're planting your crops or, I don't know, building the first wheel in history or whatever, you probably need to know what pi is, I suppose. So there you go. National Pie Day. Today is also National Napping Day. I am a huge proponent of napping. It's funny, as a kid, no one wants to take naps. As you get older, it's like, yeah, man, bring it on. I'd love to take a little nap in the middle of the afternoon. Probably napping day because all the people are so busy trying to memorize a million digits of pi or whatever. It kind of leads to a little napping, whether you want to or not, right? So happy Pi Day for those of you who are mathematically inclined. Happy National Napping Day to all the rest of us as well. Enjoy both of them. All right, what do we have going on? A couple of little comments before I go on anything else. Mark Taylor, after 1 week, who is your favorite on Survivor? All right, now for those of you who don't know, I am doing recaps of Survivor 42. I did 41, so I decided to go ahead and do 42 as well. So episodes are on Wednesday. So typically Wednesday night, sometimes it's a little late, but typically Wednesday night, or maybe early Thursday morning, I'll go ahead and drop a recap of the episode. So if you aren't subscribed to my channel, this may be a good time to do so, and you'll get an update as soon as I've finished my recap of the episode. I try to do a little bit like I do those Big Brother overnight feed recaps, try to keep it to 15, 20 minutes, a real quick rehash about what happened a little bit, but also just my opinions on what I liked, what I didn't like, and everything else. So with that in mind, talking about last week's Survivor, and I'm going to throw little spoilers in there. If you haven't seen the episode, just sit tight for a couple of minutes, plug your ears and come back in a second. But now, I like the first episode. I thought it was interesting that Jeff Probst tells us at the very beginning that a lot of the twists we see are going to be the exact same twist from last season, because these castaways were already, I guess, sequestered or already started filming by the time season 41 premiered on TV. Seems like that's been forever, but it's only been last fall. But they didn't get the chance to see all the twists from last season, so it's all fresh to them. I kind of like that because it means that it's new to them, but we've already seen a lot of it. So we get to already think what we would do, how you would handle it, see how they respond differently maybe than the first season. And we already saw some of that. Do y'all remember last season, you had to choose either between going down a beach with a pot and filling up a big, like 55-gallon barrel with water, or you had to solve a mathematical puzzle, figure out how many triangles were in this drawing of a giant triangle. Last season, both teams went for the barrels. This season, they both went for the triangle. And the only thing I can figure out that's a real difference between the two, other than the people, but last season, you had two people who had to fill the barrels. This season, you only have one person who has to fill the barrels. And I think no one wanted to do the barrels because no one wanted to be that single person. If you have two people, even though you're isolated from the other four of a tribe, at least you got to think that you can kind of develop a relationship with that person, maybe make some things happen. When you're by yourself, you got to be thinking, these other five are all going to be over there aligning up against me. I'm the first one out. So no one wanted to do it. So just changing that one little rule led to a different results of them doing the puzzle. So it's kind of fun watching how they tweak it just a little bit and how that changes things up. Back to the original question that you asked, Mark. Who do I like so far? From just the joy of playing the game, I kind of like Marianne. She smiles so much. She seems so passionate about the game itself, and that's what I'm looking for. That's what I was looking for a little bit in the Big Brother house, is who's just here to play and have fun, and versus wanting to be an influencer or something else. And I feel like Marianne is there for all the right reasons. She's been fun to watch so far, so kind of cheering her on. Who else? I don't. Jonathan is such a beast. Man, that guy. He may not make it to the end because I can't help but think they're going to see him as a huge target once you get to the tribal merge, once everyone comes together. But at least short term, that guy, I feel like he can do everything, and he's going to help his tribe stay away from tribal council quite a bit. So those may be my first two choices. But there's a lot of people I've kind of enjoyed so far. Omar has been fun to watch. I hated to lose the people that we lost. We lost, and surely you've seen it by now, right? We lost Jackson for medical issues, right? He hadn't quite weaned himself off some medications he'd been on and all that, and I hated that. First of all, Jackson was one of the older players, so I'm kind of cheered for him a little bit because of that. But also, he's from Houston, seemed like a nice guy and all that. And then we lose. I just hate to see someone go out not even through gameplay, but just because things happen. It kind of amazes me that he made it as far as he did with a medical issue and then got booted after the first day or two. Because I just remember when I did Big Brother, I'm sure y'all have heard this before, but when we go to LA and do kind of like the final rounds and we talk to producers and do all the stuff, talk to a lot of different people, we go through all kinds of medical tests. I mean, I got in there and I had to go through like a full physical exam. I had to give blood and they checked all kinds of levels. And I don't know, I guess I was healthy enough to go on the show, but they certainly pay a lot of attention. This day and age of COVID, I'm sure even more so than it used to be. So for it to get to the point where he actually got on the show and then had to leave after a couple of days, I just hated to see it. It was disappointing. He's from Houston, so I'm really hoping I can reach out to him and maybe we can go do a preview party of one of these episodes somewhere during the season or something. I think that'd be kind of fun. So we got that. All right, let's see a couple of those. Angie and David both saying, oh, yes, except for the Saskatchewan province, y'all got daylight savings time. All right, well, those goofy Saskatchewanis. I don't know how you pronounce it. I figure y'all probably save goofy and stuff for the Quebecians and some of the other folks, right? Yeah, David, you're what y'all? I know Angie's over in Alberta. I'm trying to remember. All right. Well, except for Saskatchewan, y'all got the feeds as well. I gotta say, when I was up in Canada and then when I was up in Alaska as well, during the wintertime, it gets dark early. It's not like that here in Texas. We don't have quite as much transition as some of y'all do, or variation from summer to winter. Up there, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you might as well just shut it down because it's already nighttime. So that's what happens when you live up there, up north with all the elves and the North Pole and all that, right? All right, what else we got? Ma, Arissa Cox or Julie Chen? Well, Ma, I gotta go with Julie. I've met Julie. She was nice, but I gotta say, it would be so cool to meet Arissa. I haven't met Arissa. I got interviewed by Ika Wong, which was kind of cool when I was going on to the Big Brother. I think she was handling interviews for Entertainment Canada, and I haven't watched Ika's season, but I knew that she was, big player and all of that, and so it was, and I knew who she was when I went in there. So it's cool meeting Ika. I'd love to meet Arissa. I think she does a fantastic job. I got no complaints. Everything that Big Brother Canada does is top notch. I will say this, and I don't know if anyone's asking or not. I am watching Big Brother Canada. I'm not keeping up with the live feeds as much as I thought I would, just because, weddings and everything that goes on in the real world. I just haven't had a chance to the way I do with Big Brother USA. But I gotta say, if you just watch the episodes of Big Brother Canada, sometimes it's a little hard to keep up. They don't seem to spend quite as much time talking about strategy and stuff within the episodes as maybe Big Brother USA does. Just my own personal opinion, but I've caught myself really saying, man, I'm a little lost. What's going on? And having to rely on feeds that come across through Twitter and things like that to kind of keep up with what's going on with Big Brother Canada. So yeah, it's, even though it's the same format and everything, it's a little different the way the producers handle the show, and I like it. I like a little variation back and forth. But yeah, I'd love to meet Arissa someday. Hey, I'd love to meet Arissa someday when you do some kind of crossover between Big Brother USA and Canada and put us all in a house together. And Julie and Arissa, put Julie and Arissa in the house as well. Wouldn't that be fun to have those two people in a Big Brother house and see how they battle it out? Would Julie and Arissa be partners, duos in crime, take the whole thing, or would they just go after each other from the very beginning, thinking that there can only be one host in this house? I don't know. It'd be a lot of fun. What else do we got out here? Michelle Toller, howdy from Houston. Well, howdy to you as well. Welcome, my very close neighbor. Yes, I love talking to Houston people here. I did a conference. It was so funny I'm in the chemical association or chemical industry. And I went to a big luncheon on Thursday here in town. And I'm checking in and, doing what you need to do before we go sit down and listen to our speakers and all that. And all of a sudden, a couple of people came and they said, are you that guy from Big Brother? I said, yeah, I am. And we talked all about Big Brother. And they were saying, yeah, the last thing we thought was going to some kind of boring chemical conference industry thing for a luncheon and seeing someone from Big Brother here. And so, well, Yeah, it's kind of cool too. But yeah, so it's always neat when I'm doing business stuff, and all of a sudden you get a little Big Brother popping up every once in a while. You never know when it's going to happen, and so we had a blast just talking a little Big Brother and kind of listening to the guy talk about chemistry as well a little bit. We probably talk more Big Brother than anything else. All right, what else do we have out here? Julia Shepard, did you make your hand sculpture yet from Valentine's Day? No, we've. Here's the thing, Julia. We were so busy with weddings. My son was over the Valentine's Day weekend. Then my daughter was last weekend. It's been stressful. It's been busy. Not stressful, just busy trying to get everything done, everything taken care of. So no, we didn't do the hand sculpture. I bought it. We actually spent this last weekend. It's kind of cold here in Houston. We just spent the weekend in the house watching TV, just visiting, kind of getting our energy built up. So now we haven't done it. We're going to take a weekend here or there. It's just going to be Sharon and I, just our weekend after so many for weddings and all that. And we'll do it then. We're not in a big hurry. But yeah, we'll do it here pretty quick. Julia saying, do you like Jenny the gal who was so good with the triangle puzzle? Yeah, I mean, she's I like her. I think she's smart. I can't remember on the preview if she said she was one of the puzzle people, and I don't remember if she was. But no, I think strategically, she seems pretty knowledgeable as well. Not just the puzzle, but yeah, I'm always going to cheer for the people that I feel are closest to the way I'd play the game. And what I liked about that triangle puzzle was that we could all play along. And they got to it. I paused it, and Sharon and I spent time trying to count up the triangles and everything. I never did get to the final number they came up with. I didn't spend enough time trying. I got up to about 38 or so, and then said, I know there's more, but I'm tired. Let's go ahead and scoot ahead. But it's fun being able to play the game as well. But yeah, no, she had it figured out. And everyone else was saying, oh, I think it's 12 or something. She said, no, there's no way you can have already counted it. And it's not 12. They would have missed it so badly if it wasn't for her pointing out all the extra triangles that they hadn't even thought of. So yeah, it was yeah, I like her. I'm cheering for her, and we'll see how she does. I feel like she plays a little bit like I'd play. Angie saying, for me, Julia Chen all the way. She's just so controlled. Yeah, no, and then Ma saying Ika's so iconic. So there you go. We get opinions both ways. I don't know. I mean, I gotta say, I met Julie Chen, so I kind of have to go with Julie on it. She was. I didn't get to spend a lot of time talking to Julie. I mean, I talked a little bit between commercials when I got evicted and all of that, but it's not like we went off and had coffee together or anything like that. But she seemed to know the game when I talked to her just for a little bit. I always assumed that she just maybe would just show up and do her little thing and that'd be it. But I mean, she kind of knew what was happening in the house and everything else. And so no, I like them both. I'm not gonna say anything negative about either one of them. I think they've got very good hosts for both. Can you picture anyone else handling it for Big Brother USA or Big Brother Canada? I don't know. Bring in Carson Creasley to replace Julie Chen at some point if she ever decides to leave. Maybe bring in Ika to replace Arissa at some point. I could see that happening, but I think they got good people. All these reality shows, so much of it is dependent on who the host is, I think. And now it's a little different because Big Brother doesn't have the host within the game, like Jeff Probst, that's talking to people and hashing out at tribal council and all that. Nothing is more important than Jeff Probst. I really think, as great as Survivor is, a lot of it is due to him being the host of that show. If it'd been someone else, I don't think it would have been nearly as good. He's kind of grown into his role, and I think he's executive producer. I mean, he does everything nowadays. He's not just the host, and a lot of what happens, it was all Mark Burnett to start with, and now I think it's all Jeff Probst for the most part. So yeah, nothing's more important than Jeff Probst and Survivor, but some of these reality shows kind of live or fail, succeed or fail based, I think, on the people who are going along with it, right? And that's what I think. All right, what else do we have on here? All right, well, while I'm reading through the comments, y'all know that on this day in 1879, Albert Einstein was born. Congratulations to Albert Einstein. Well, if he's still around, I tell him congratulations. But yeah, he left us a while back. Can you believe 145 years since Albert Einstein was born, and yet he doesn't seem like it was that long ago. He did in a single year. I think it was 1905 or something. This is my Sheldon Cooper kicking in, I guess, that side of me. But like 1905, he released 5 different papers that started off with the really important stuff and finished up with the theory of relativity and E equals mc squared. I mean, any one of those papers apparently would be just like career making type paper for most people. He did 5 of them in a single year. That was brilliant. We need, well, I was going to say we need more Albert Einsteins. I think we got a lot of them. We just don't know what their names are all the time. All right, Terry Thompson. Hi from Angleton, Texas. Love your updates. Terry, I was just in Angleton on Friday. The place I work has a facility down there. So yeah, I know Angleton well. Thank you. I appreciate your support, and it's always fun going down to your neck of the woods as well. And Mark saying, where's Survivor 42 shot this year? It's all shot in the same place nowadays. It's all Fiji. And I don't know if I say Fiji as though it's just some little island. I mean, Fiji's huge, but they've got some spot in Fiji that I think they just year in, year out go. You know, in the early days, they'd go to Pearl Islands. They did Africa, Australia. They went everywhere. They finally figured out that they could save a lot of money. Yeah, I'd love to say it was for some other reason. But they could save a lot of money just by going to a single location. I think there for a while, they would go to a location and they would film 2 seasons there. One season would be titled Micronesia or whatever. And then the other season, they'd still film there, but it would be titled Blood versus Water, you know, whatever. But they would shoot 2 seasons back to back in a location. And finally, they settled in Fiji. Saves money. They got all the people that do this show just permanently there, production and things like that. And I'm sure sets and props and all that stuff are just permanently stored. But here's the other thing I've always heard is that it's not just US Survivor, that all these other countries that also do Survivor, they'll go in and use a lot of the same props and sets and everything when we're not filming. When Survivor USA is busy doing editing and things like that, some other country will come in and film their version of Survivor as well. So it's absolutely a global, international kind of franchise that helps each other to do all of it. So yeah, I don't even know the last time they didn't film in Fiji. It's got to be years and years since they've been there anywhere else. So yeah. And now here's a little funny thing. I watched the very first episode of Survivor season 1. I knew it was going to be huge. I'd already watched, there was a thing called Echo Challenge that Mark Burnett did, that were teams of 4 or 5 people that would do these endurance races. So go like 2 weeks, and whoever goes through the mountains and stuff, canoeing and all, gets to the end wins. So I was a huge fan of Mark Burnett. So when they announced that this show was going to take place, I was all excited about it. Well, we knew where it was filming. It wasn't a big deal. It's just some show that was filming. I wish I'd been. There was an oil rig job that I and a partner were working with, but I ended up staying back in the States to handle it from this side. He went over, was actually on the rig, and from the rig that they were working on, they could see when they would get on a boat, come into shore and everything, they could see where they were filming the very first episode of Survivor. He said, yeah, every once in a while we'd go by and we'd see all these people around and bright stuff and all that. And then later he found out that was the beach they were filming the very first season of Survivor on. Richard Hatch and Susan Hawk and all of them. So yeah, I wish I'd been on that job at the time, just so I could say I was there. I saw the very first Survivor, even if I wasn't on the beach. I kind of saw it. Not quite that close, but still talking to the guy who did it, and knowing that at least our drilling rig was just around the river bend or just across the ocean sea or whatever from it. So that was always cool. That's my connection to season number 1. Always been a fan of Survivor. All right, let's see what else is going on. Talking about doing things. We talked about Survivor. We talked about Big Brother a little bit. Did y'all see there's a cruise going on? If you're fans of season 23 and you're fans of open water cruising and all of that, I saw a little thing come across that a lot of the housemates from season 23 are going to go on a cruise. I think it's taking off from New Orleans in August or so. And who was on there? Hannah and Sarah Beth and Big D's on there. Big D and Whitney don't necessarily get along, but they're both going on this cruise together. Brent, and Travis. I think that, and then they have shadows of whoever else they may be able to get to do a cruise. But yeah, they're going to go on a cruise. I'm sure they're getting their cruise paid for, subsidized somehow, and then the cruise company will then get a lot of people on, and they'll do meet and greets and things like that. It sounds kind of fun. I've never been on a cruise myself. Maybe Sharon and I need to try it out. But yeah, so they're going to try to do a cruise in August. We'll see if it happens or not. I know back in, I think it was season 20, they were going to do a cruise, a similar type situation, and it fell apart. I think it was Scotty or someone that ended up saying that yeah, they wanted them to go on a cruise, but they didn't offer to pay for it. It was just a little cheaper, a discount rate that really didn't make enough difference to get them on board. And I never worked out. But yeah, you never know. You do these reality shows, the next thing you know, you're getting some little offers here and there to go on cruises or go hang out at bars or whatever. It's kind of cool that some of the opportunities that you get to do. I know right after I got out, I had a blast. Kat and Nicole and myself all went up to Calgary and met Angie at the time. I wish I'd known Angie more at the time, so we could have hung out a whole lot more. But went up to Cowboys, a bar up there, and hung out and met everyone. I had a lot of fun doing that. I actually got an offer to do a renewal of vows type wedding with Sharon in Vegas, which that would have been kind of cool to do. And we actually talked about it, and then COVID hit and shut everything down. And so we had to put it off, and we'll probably still do that somewhere down the road, but we'll do it on our own dime with our own plans. But yeah, you never know what things are going to happen. So yeah, if you're interested in cruising, come August, you got an opportunity to do it. All right, Mark saying, how did your Aggies not make the big dance? Who's your favorite this year? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the big March Madness basketball is kicking in and starting. My Aggies won 3 out of the 4 games for the SEC tournament. I thought they were in. They looked like they were doing fantastic. They lost a championship game, but other than that, they were looking great. And then they got done dirty by the selection committee. They didn't make it into the field of 68, which kills me. Don't get me started on that, Mark, because there's teams in there that don't deserve to be there. Hey, we're talking about St. Patrick's Day, so maybe we could talk about the luck of the Irish, very much in play to get them into the tourney, considering A&M had already beat them in neutral time. I'm not going to spend the next 30 minutes talking about March Madness, so y'all don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I was a little disappointed that my Aggies didn't make it in. Who's my favorite? I don't know. Whoever I randomly pick for my March Madness tournament bracket to win my $1 million prize or whatever. I don't know. I haven't kept up enough, but just like some of the other people, I'll go in, fill a couple of brackets out. I'll pick a couple of upsets, and hey, things go my way. Maybe I'll win $1 million, and then I think Sharon and I may go on a cruise. How about that? We may go on a couple of cruises if I win $1 million. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? My new son-in-law went to Baylor, so maybe I'll be cheering for Baylor just to support him, I suppose. All right, we'll work that. Hey, and they're green too, so it fits in with St. Patrick's Day. I haven't even really talked about St. Patrick's Day. I got the background and everything else, and then we just kind of left it alone. And I know it's not till Thursday. I think it's Thursday, but yeah, we'll start the weekend a little bit early, celebrating. Isn't it funny? I've never been to Ireland. I've been all over the world. I've never been to Ireland. I've got Scottish roots, not Irish roots, so I don't even have a real big connection. But what did they say on St. Patrick's Day? Everyone's Irish. It's such a funny holiday that we all celebrate wearing the green, drinking green beer, and not talking with us Irish accent and all. It's horrible. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it already. We're going to probably go to the rodeo tomorrow, so. Maybe I don't have a green cowboy hat. That would have fit in perfectly. And I don't think they'll appreciate me wearing my little leprechaun hat to the rodeo. So I'll probably stick with this. But we're going out. We may have a few beers and pretend like it's St. Patrick's Day a little bit early. And I don't know, look for green horses at the rodeo or something else. It's going to be kind of cool because here's the way, for those of you who don't know, the rodeo is huge down here in Houston. I think I mentioned it just a little bit last week. We lost the last 2 years of it because of COVID. So it's finally back. And so I think we're going to try to go. We actually have tickets the very last night, which is next Sunday, to see George Strait. Ooh, Woo, that'll probably be fun. But we're gonna see that. But I'd like to get out and see the rodeo, see the livestock, see the midway, and just eat 2-pound turkey legs. They got corn dogs out there. They're 2 feet long. It's a lot of corn dog to be eaten. But so we may just kind of spur of the moment, but I think we may be going to the rodeo tomorrow. I'm gonna skip out from work a little bit early, see all the sights. After they have the big rodeo in NRG Stadium, the same place the Texans play. So it's a gigantic facility. And we watch all the bull riding, calf roping, barrel racing from the women and all that. But then after they get done, they have a concert every night. And it's a lot of country acts. But tomorrow night, not so much. Tomorrow night, if we go, we're going to be seeing in concert Gwen Stefani, which that'd be kind of cool. No doubt, Don't Speak. I like Gwen Stefani. I've always liked her music, and Blake Shelton, who we also are big fans of. He's married to her, so he may show up as well. We'll find out. We saw him at the rodeo the year before it shut down because of COVID. So yeah, it's fun. It's always fun going to these concerts and seeing who's performing. We've certainly seen country acts. I saw Willie Nelson there, which was great. Hank Williams Jr. We've seen a few other folks, Dierks Bentley, and a lot of people. But we've also seen non-country acts that were fantastic. Saw Barry Manilow there one year, which is kind of interesting, right? But one of the best acts I've ever seen at the Houston Rodeo, maybe one of the best concerts I've seen. We saw Black Eyed Peas there with Fergie and all, Will.i.am and all. God, that's probably been 10 years, but they were in the concert at the rodeo one year. It's so funny watching someone like that perform, and everyone's in there with the cowboy hats, very much westerned up and everything, and we're all just cheering and dancing along to the Black Eyed Peas. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that with Gwen Stefani tomorrow night. So y'all keep an eye on my Instagram. I'm sure I'll take it. Now, it's raining a little bit out here, so if weather gets bad, maybe that all disappears. We do something else, but if not, we may go out there. Y'all keep an eye. I'll be posting some Instagram pictures. There's a lot of fun stuff to do. They've got mutton busting, which for those of you who don't know, you take young kids, like 6-year-old kids, you put them on a sheep and you let the sheep run, and the kids try to hold onto that wool and hold on as long as they can until they get to the other side of the arena or the little area they've got set up and all that. My kids both did it. Kelly and Daniel both did it one year. Can't say that it's their favorite moment forever. When they got done, they're happy they did it now, I think. They like talking that they did it, but at the time they were pretty much, get me off this damn sheep. I'm tired of trying to hold on to the wool of this sheep. So it's fun watching that. They get high school kids for calf scramble, which basically means you take 24 kids in this big arena. Right in the middle, you got 12 calves. So it's younger cows. What are they, year or 2 old calves? And they tell the kids, go catch you a calf. And all these kids, they're from 4-H and FFA, so kind of the agricultural clubs here in Texas and elsewhere. But it's one of those 2 organizations. And so they all go chasing after these calves. Well, there's twice as many kids as there are calves, so not everyone catches one. But if you catch one, then you've got to wrap a harness around its bridle type thing around its face with a rope so you can drag it back into the center of the arena. And if you get it there, you win. It used to be $500. I think it's a couple of $1,000 now that you win to purchase your own calf that you then have to raise, and you come back the next year and you show it at the livestock show, and then you sell it for a lot of money and all that. So it's a cool deal. It's fun watching these kids running back and forth across the arena trying to catch these calves. And calves a lot faster, a lot more agile than these kids are. So there's a lot of kids getting drug along the ground, holding on to tails, getting drug halfway across the arena and all of that. I never did calf scramble. I was much more into engineering and science and technology and things like that. But I've got 2 brothers who did it. My brother Robert did it, won a cow. Speaking of the concert that we saw when he did his calf scramble, Cool in the Gang. Yeah, it was cool. See what I did there. But they did saw Cool and Gay, but he won. He caught a cow and got $500, raised a calf, took it back, showed it the next year. My other brother Bowie, the one who was on The Apprentice, not so much. Bowie is 6'4", 290 pounds, or at least he was in high school. So it's a big kid. if he got the calf, he probably could have just thrown it up over his shoulder like Paul Bunyan, taking it into the center of the ring and won his money. But he had to catch it first. This calf was a whole lot faster than my brother Bowie. So, yeah, he didn't win the calf scramble. But, I think he raised rabbits or something instead. So, that worked out. All right. What else do we have going on? JP, hate to admit it, but the best concert I ever saw was Weird Al. All right, JP, that's interesting. I may not have thought of Weird Al on my list of the best concerts ever. I guess I could see that. I don't know. It's certainly a unique conference, right? I guess I never even thought about Weird Al actually putting on concerts as opposed to just all of his parody videos. Do y'all know who my favorite concert was? Well, I've got a few, but yeah, perhaps my favorite unexpected concert ever, I saw him up in Dallas, was Bruce Springsteen. He performed in, when was this? About 85 or so, Born to Run tour. I wasn't a huge Springsteen fan. Yeah, he was up in the Northeast, New England states and all that. I just wasn't as much into him as some other stuff. I was big into Van Halen back then. That was my band. But I just happened to get some really good tickets for Springsteen. And me and a buddy went and saw that thing. I've never seen anyone perform as long as Bruce Springsteen performed. He must have performed for 3.5, 4 hours. He performed so long that he took a break in the middle of the show for about 20 minutes. And I don't remember if they played canned music or what, but he had to take a break just because they played for so long. And he was energetic. I don't know. It's just one of the most phenomenal concerts I've ever seen. Wasn't a huge fan before I saw him. Nowadays, yeah, I like me some Spring. Pink Cadillac, my all-time favorite, I think. There's a lot to choose from, but the river and all, but I think Pink Cadillac may be my favorite. But now, an incredible, amazing concert. The first concert I ever went to, the first two I ever went to, the first real concert was Willie Nelson. I went and saw that with my parents. My parents took us over to Dallas and we watched Willie Nelson, and he put on a good show. That was like 40 something years ago, and he's still going strong. I've seen him in concert since then. It is going strong, may be a little bit of an overstatement, but he's still out there playing, which is pretty impressive. But I saw Willie Nelson. The first concert I saw all on my own without parents or anyone else was Dr. Hook and the Indian Medicine Show. Or Dr. Hook was a band. I think that was their album. They were a band back from the 70s. I saw them at Six Flags, and then later, while Six Flags, I saw Beach Boys, Joan Jett, Chicago, a few different. I'd be talking forever if we talk concerts, but yeah, Dr. Hook was. They got some songs that my parents probably wouldn't have let me go to the concert if they knew what they were. But it's pretty good. Y'all look them up if y'all never heard of Dr. Hook. All right, let's see what else do we have on here. I'm just kind of rambling tonight, guys. I hope y'all are okay with that. Angie's saying interesting that at the City of Calgary online discussion about branding, people said were referred to as the Houston of the North. Okay, well, I see the similarities. I don't know. I'm trying to read my things. Here's a little secret for y'all guys who watch this every time. Because I wear glasses, I turn my screen down way low. So you don't just get a lot of reflection, just see super bright light. You can still see it a little bit in my glasses. I turn it down low. So once I start reading through these things, sometimes my comments, it's a little hard to see, but let me try that again. So I just say, interesting that at a City of Calgary online discussion about branding. Oh, marketing, branding. I'm thinking cows and brand you with an iron and all that. People said that we're referred to as the Houston of the North too much. All right, well, maybe. No one wants to be in the shadow of someone else. And, but I got to say, Angie, for as much as that's said, one of the things we get in the rodeo every single year that everyone loves watching are the chuck wagon races, which I know it's all from the Calgary Stampede. They're all Canadian racers that come down here for it and everything. So, yeah, you may think that y'all are too much like Houston of the North. I like the similarities. If there was ever such a thing, there is such a thing as sister cities. Calgary and Houston ought to just lock up and say, yeah, we're one and the same. Yeah, maybe the accent's a little bit different. Temperature's a little bit different at times. We aren't getting the Winter Olympics down here in Houston anytime soon. So there's some variations. But in terms of attitude and everything else, oil and gas, cattle, everything about Alberta and Texas, Calgary and Houston. We're the same. We might as well be. Yep. What? Houston and Calgary, sister cities, and Dallas and Edmonton, the other cities up to the north, they could be sister cities as well. We don't care about them, right? Yeah, no, I get it, Angie, because I certainly see the similarities, but nowhere I'd rather. I've been different places in Canada. I've been over in Halifax and New Brunswick and some of the areas on the East Coast and all that, but Newfoundland and all. But I like Alberta. That's my choice. I'm ready to come visit again. And if I can do it during Calgary Stampede, so much the better. That'd be so much fun. All right, JP saying, what would be your deserted island album? I don't know. It's got to be something from Jimmy Buffett, right? Yeah, the Cheeseburger in Paradise, A Sailor Looks at 40. I like me some Jimmy Buffett. He's kind of that island. Margaritaville is his big hit. He's got so many fins to the left, fins to the right, only Shark in Town. He's got a lot of songs that I really love. He's very much, if I'm going to be sitting on the beach drinking, hopefully I'm a deserted island, but hopefully it's a deserted island. It's got a couple of bottles of rum and things like that, and a beach umbrella and a lawn chair. I guess not a lawn chair, a beach chair, right? Give me some of those and maybe a little suntan lotion. I'll kick back, listen to Jimmy Buffett. I'll be all right for a while. Call me Gilligan. I'll be fine. Cheeseburger in Paradise is one of my favorites. I like Cheeseburger in Paradise. I used to travel all over. I'd be down in the middle of nowhere, Venezuela, and I love eating local food. In fact, that's the safe way. Don't eat the American food. Eat the local food wherever you go, and you're always much better off. But I do remember every once in a while just getting a little bit of a hankering for some American food. And there was a place down in the middle of nowhere, Venezuela, that was it was a grass hut looking thing. I mean, it was made to look like it had the straw on top. It's a circular kind of thing that looked like you're in the middle of a jungle. And they served the most amazing American hamburgers in there. And they would play Cheeseburger in Paradise all the time. And I just thought, oh, this is perfect. I'm in the middle of nowhere, eating a cheeseburger, listening to Jimmy Buffett. Yeah, there's worse ways you can spend an afternoon. So yeah, I go with little Jimmy Buffett. Misfire, who would you take on a deserted island with you? Well, if I don't say my wife, I'm probably going to be in a world of hurt, right? Yeah, no, I got to take Sharon with that. Who else am I going to take? Yeah, we would just frolic in the waves and hang out and drink coconut and rum coladas and just I don't know, be like Blue Lagoon all over again. Yeah, we'd Blue Lagoon versus Lord of the Flies or something like that. Yeah, I'd be taking Sharon. That some people call that a vacation, right? Do that. Just tell me we're going to come back after a while and we'll be good. Amanda Lowe saying, hoo, reminder? Okay. Hoo. Let me think what that's got to do with. All right, just for you, my little buddy, which I did post it on the, I did post on my little reminder. So I figured for Valentine's Day, we're past how quick the year goes. For St. Patrick's Day, he is wearing the little green. Surprise, that shows up on a green screen. Or kind of doesn't, does it? Got Orwell, my buddy from the Big Brother house. Yeah, I had so much fun with that. It was so silly when I was in there because I knew that After Dark was the show they showed, 2 or 3 hours every night for Big Brother after the 9 to midnight or whatever. And I knew that Orwell was the mascot for After Dark. So why wouldn't you carry around the mascot if you are kind of thinking that you'd like to be on TV so your family can see you and all that? So I just had fun with it. I carried Orwell with me everywhere I went. And sure enough, they would always zoom in on Orwell during After Dark and all that. And Tommy and some of the other people in my season, because of that, thought that maybe I was some kind of America's player or there was some kind of task assigned to hold on to Orwell, that if I lost Orwell, I would lose money or something. So they did me dirty. They stole Orwell. First of all, even if you think that, why not let me get the money? Let me keep Orwell. Why would you do that? They said, they thought maybe it came with some immunity or some kind of HOH advantage or something else if I did. So they gave me reasons why they didn't think they didn't want me to win something they didn't know what it was, and I get it. But remember Tommy telling me in the boat room saying, "Cliff, I got to tell you, we're the ones that took Orwell." It's like, whatever. I just did it so I could get the camera on me a little bit more, so the family would see me just a little bit more. But then it turned into a thing. Yeah, I saw the showmances in the house everywhere. It's like, all right, well, I get my own showmance. I'll take Orwell everywhere I go with me, and he can be my good buddy and do all of that. I had fun with it. We had, I don't know if I've ever said this before or not. We had, before we actually went in the house, we had a media day where we had to go talk to, I mentioned Ika Wong, and we got to do our diary room session with Jeff Schroeder, talk to him. We talked to a lot of different media outlets. It was just one day. Jonathan Bennett I talked to for Entertainment Tonight. So it was just one spot to the other. They were super, super cautious to make sure that we never cross paths with any other house guests. So even though we talked to all these people, it was always isolated, and we had to, say blindfolded between places so you wouldn't see anyone. And there's a lot that went into it. But one of the things that I had to do, I think the very first episode, or the very first kind of press thing I had to do, was for After Dark. And they asked me a few questions. They said, okay, so here's Orwell. And what do you have to say to Orwell? So I grabbed Orwell and said, we're going to have fun. I'm going to be my best friend in the house. I'm going to tell you secrets, and I'm not going to tell anyone else. Well, that's before I opened my big mouth and got overheard by everyone. But my plan was just to keep Orwell as my confidant. I had fun with it. I was just playing along. It was just fun. And then I talked to everyone else who said, I wasn't going to talk to that freaking owl. I'm not an idiot. I wasn't going to do that. There's no way. It's like, come on, guys. We're just in here to have fun. We're here to provide entertainment for people. Why would you talk badly about the mascot for the show that's going to be showing you 3 hours every single night? Just doesn't seem to be a smart plan of attack going forward. But apparently I was like the only person that had fun with Orwell and treated it as a silly thing instead of just acting all I'm too whatever. There people didn't want to play the game. I was one to play the game. So there you go. Yeah, Orwell still hangs around with me. I'm still doing a lot of cameos and everything else. I always try to have Orwell just in the background somewhere. I'm sure a lot of people don't even notice it, but every once in a while, someone say, we saw Orwell while you did your cameo, so thank you. And that's always fun. All right, Michelle Moore, how much is a gallon of gasoline in Texas? Oh, we're under 4. And then Mark saying it's $4.25 in Michigan, it's $4.20 in Wisconsin. Michelle saying we're under that. I mean, this is the oil and gas capital. We got all the gas refineries here in this part of the world, just up the street, in fact. So we're a little bit better than y'all are. We're probably $3.95, something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to guess. It's been a few days since I filled up with gas. As soon as that gas tank goes a little low, I fill up again because I think the price is just going to keep on cranking up. So yeah, I paid a little under $4. So it makes me drive my my more fuel efficient vehicle instead of my pickup truck, which just absolutely burns through gas. So yeah, it's tough. And trust me, as someone who comes from oil and gas, I've heard people say, well, let's just turn the tap on, get that oil flowing so we can get those prices back down. It's not how it works. It takes a long time to go out there and drill a new hole and start producing more oil and then send it to the refineries and get it developed and all that. And sometimes when you turn off the tap, when you shut down an oil well or you slow down its production, when you try to open that valve back up, the oil doesn't always flow back. Sometimes it gets clogged up with sand and everything while it's been shut down or slowed down, and you never get the production back the way you want it. So it's going to take a while. I'm afraid this summer, we may not have a lockdown because of COVID, but we may be locked down in our houses just because none of us are going to be able to afford to travel anywhere. And those of you with electric vehicles, yeah, the pain may take a little longer to get to you, but electricity rates are going to be jacking up as well. We got to take care of this Ukraine stuff. I'm a little bit worried about that. Thoughts and prayers go out to those Ukrainians, the courage they've shown, the fighting that they're there defending their homelands. And I feel for those people. I've never been to Ukraine, but I've been to Russia quite a few times. And so I don't know. It's weird. It was weird when I went to Russia and Moscow, walking around, seeing all these things and knowing that they had been such an enemy of ours the whole time I grew up, the Cold War and all that. I mean, these were the people that were going to drop the nuclear bomb and take the whole country out. And now I'm just walking around their city and all of that. And now we're back with the sanctions on it. We're kind of back to it again. It's just such a weird time we're living in. I will always remember when I was in Moscow. After I'd been there a few times, I started taking the metro, the subway around myself, because it's a great way to get around. They've got several rings of subways, and you just go look on a map. As long as you can read a little bit of Russian Cyrillic language, you can get anywhere. But I remember going on those subways and taking escalators, and these escalators were so long. It'd take you 2 or 3 minutes to get to the bottom because the subways were built 200 or 300 feet underground. I don't know how deep. They were deep. It'd take forever. It's not like the subways in New York and other places. These were way down underground. And I found out later there's 2 reasons they were built so deep. One is because they used a bunch of German soldiers from World War II to build them all. So they didn't care. It was free labor, slave labor, basically, to build these things. So they built them as deep as they could because they used them as bomb shelters, or intended to use them as bomb shelters. If they ever got attacked, they would have everyone down low where the bombs couldn't get to them. So all the Moscow population would be in these the tunnels and all of that. And then I see broadcasts from Ukraine where they're doing exactly the same thing. You got the news reporters and people just squeezed into all the subway tunnels and all. And I don't know, it just really hit home that these people it's their homeland's getting attacked. And now they're not in the subway tunnels anymore. They've all fled. And we got to figure this out. This is not Cliff's political program, so I'm not going to go on and on with it. But just know that I want this to get taken care of, and I'm there with the Ukrainian people, and do what it takes, fight the fight, and it's tough, very tough. All right, moving on to something else. Mark, who on Big Brother Canada is going home this week? I don't know. They lost Jay last week, and now I've heard that Josh could be potentially the target. I think he was a replacement nominee. I don't know. I need to read up some more on it and see. I gotta say, there's a couple of people on there that I kind of enjoy just because they're maybe not the cleanest players, a little sloppy. Betty and Kevin are grappling at each other, and I don't know. I'd hate to be in the house, either one of them having to deal with that, but watching is okay. And then Jess she's always interesting. She's very, I don't know, what's her, I don't know, forceful. She's very, she knows what she wants to do. Whether it's going to happen or not, we'll see. But she's not afraid to speak up. We'll put it that way. But no, I don't know. We'll find out. Again, I need to be reading up some more on it because I'm watching the episodes. And now the beauty, I know there's some conflict even tonight at the same time that I'm doing this show. Big Brother Canada's on. Fortunately, we get the repeat, so it's okay. But I know starting next Monday, they're actually going to do Big Brother Canada the hour before I come on and do Cliff Notes Live. So we lose the conflict from this point on. So I don't know. Maybe I'll watch the episode and then come on and do the show and talk a little bit about it. I have a feeling a lot of y'all don't watch it and don't care as much. So I'm going to spend very little time on it. But we may make a mention here and there throughout the show. Wow, 7:55 already. Amanda, does Sam still drive a tractor trailer? Well, yes, he does, Amanda, but in a much better environment. I don't know. That may be no digs against Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, where he was originally from, but a much warmer environment. Yeah, he moved from Pennsylvania down to the Orlando area with his family last winter, maybe sometime around there. Maybe even a little earlier than that. So yeah, he's down there, but now he still drives trucks. I saw him at the Hearts of Reality thing. He's all excited because not only is he driving a truck, but now he works for the Teamsters, or he belongs to the Teamsters union. And he said that gives him a lot of benefits and things that he wasn't getting in his other place. He said, normally if you join a union, you're low man on a totem pole. It takes forever before you work your way up and get some seniority. But because of COVID and issues with truck drivers, he's got all these people underneath him from a seniority standpoint. So he gets to pick his schedule. So he gets to spend time with his kids. And yeah, he's loving. He's loving. I don't see Sam ever do anything except drive the truck. He just seems to have so much fun. Yeah, if you watch any of his stories, he's always, half of his stories are complaining about some of the drivers he has to deal with. As a truck driver, I get it. I'm sure you get a little fed up with some of the goofballs that you're having to share the road with. But yeah, he's still driving the truck and still having fun with every bit of it. All right, let's see what else we got in the last couple of minutes. We've got again, if you're a Survivor fan, I do a recap. Y'all check that out, and I'll keep you up to speed on what's going on there. And yeah, hated to lose Jackson, hated to lose Zach, but yeah, you got to get down to the final three somehow, somewhere. I think they got a lot of good cast involved on that. What else? I was going to talk about some of the shows and stuff I watched. We'll do that next week because I don't have time to do any of it justice. In fact, I think with that being said, we'll go ahead and shut it down, guys. It's about that time. So again, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. You'll get all the recaps of all the different shows I'm doing. I'm always looking for the next show to cover that I maybe haven't covered as well. If y'all got any interesting ideas, let me know. Maybe I'll do that new challenge. Hey, David Alexander is going to be on the new challenge coming up, the CBS version instead of the MTV version. I heard they're already down in Argentina sequestering and all of that. So David's on there. A lot of the cookouts on there from season 23. Cheering for David. He's my guy when it comes to that. I'm always going to cheer for my my fellow castmates from my season, but especially David. It's a great guy. So yeah, maybe I'll cover that or cover this other version of Survivor with the celebrity Survivor. I don't know. We'll find out. But y'all give me some ideas. But until then, guys, y'all have a fantastic Wednesday. Enjoy every bit of Wednesday. I have a fantastic Monday. Enjoy every bit of it. I may go to a rodeo. I may celebrate a little St. Patrick's Day. I may combine it all together. Y'all have fun as well. I'll see y'all Thursday morning, Wednesday night for the Survivor recap. I will see y'all again next Monday for another episode of Cliff Notes Live. Until then, guys, SKD 143. Love my wife. Love my kids. Love all of y'all. Stay safe. Give each other hugs. Everything in moderation when it comes to St. Patrick's Day and every other day. But y'all have a fantastic week, and I will talk to y'all next Monday. Cheers, my friends. Bye.